So, here we are in the company of pediatrician Piercarlo Salari. Could you tell us a bit about your clinical practice, the work you do with your young patients on a daily basis?
Today, the pediatrician is a much more fundamental figure than in the past because they are the first point of reference for families. They are the privileged educator, the guardian, that is, the professional who knows the family context so well that they can intercept risk factors. By following the child over time, they naturally know the medical history and also understand potential weaknesses, optimal prevention not only in everyday life but also, for example, during trips, movements, or changes in family dynamics. So, ultimately, today's pediatrician must have many skills that are not limited solely to the clinical sphere but must also extend into the psychobehavioral area. Consider, for example, the dramatic increase in behavioral disorders. For better or worse, they must also be able to interact with other specialists. Today, medicine is interdisciplinary. It's no longer compartmentalized as it once was.
This is a great thing because I also believe strongly in multidisciplinarity, and it's important for you, too, to understand this.
Of course, there's also scientific research that needs to be followed because knowledge is evolving rapidly, and we can't afford to fall behind. We need to stay updated, and fortunately, there are many initiatives in this regard that help facilitate the acquisition of the latest findings, both for understanding diseases and for therapies themselves, which in some areas are evolving rapidly.
And then, I think the pediatrician is also a very important figure for new mothers who may need advice, support to understand how to manage, especially a first child.
Indeed, the recommendation would be to choose your pediatrician before giving birth, even during pregnancy. This obviously becomes easier when there's already a sibling, so the pediatrician somehow automatically becomes a reference for newborns as well. But in general, the choice of pediatrician should be made well in advance of birth precisely because there's a close interaction with the figure of the gynecologist, and I believe the future will increasingly move in this direction, particularly in safeguarding the health and well-being of the child, but I emphasize also of the entire family unit.